finally, after delaying it for 2 years, Omale has finally decided to give us the second album, his sophomore album, Clarity of Mind. 12 songs, 33 minutes, not too long, not too short. This is the kind of album I want to listen to now. I don't want 1 hour album. And let's get into it. After 2 EPs and 1 album, this is his 4th project. After Get Laid, What Have We Done, those 2 EPs, Boy Alone album. Since then, he's been able to carve a core audience for himself, and he's been one of the biggest Nigerian exports in terms of Afrobeat since 2020. I remember Sancho during the lockdown recommending one of his songs to someone. I can't remember who he was, but he's been the guy for, this is the 6th year since that EP drops, I think. So he's been one of the biggest exports that we've had in Afrobeat, maybe 3.0, whatever version this is. After so many stories, after so many, how do I say it, rollout contents that we've seen, the entire somebody copied his style, to talking about the origin of Afrobeat, mixing it up with the Afrobeat without the S, and so many other things. People accusing him of just rage baiting everybody to anticipate the album, also calling the album one of the greatest XYZ. So here is Clarity of Mind, and here is what I think. Firstly, the intro. I'm a big fan of intro when it comes to Afrobeat. Afrobeat album intros are really important to me, and I think it's an introduction to say, yeah, this is what is coming. And I feel, and I like this. I like it. It's how do I explain this? It's him flexing. He's just majorly flexing on this, beating his chest as number one, while the delusion takes a center stage also, with also making sure, saying this is not entirely me, this is Igbo doing the talking. But I mean, it's a really good intro to an album, and I feel like going into the album with so many things that have happened, I said, okay, let me just listen to it and let me see what it looks like. And I think this is a very good way to say, this is a good way to start an album, and I really enjoyed it. I like Artificial Happiness, which is, I mean, shout out to whatever people take to feel like they are number one. I mean, yeah. So the next song I like on the album is Canada Breeze. Canada Breeze, I love it. I think, how do I say it? An upbeat Omale song talking about his down moment while hyping himself up, and you know, it's a really catchy song. I really like it. I think Omale's once in a while, you sometimes, because when you look at Omale, you see in his music, or let's say project, he's not shy to talk about loss, yearning, sadness, and naughty things he wants to do to women, right? So once in a while, when he goes out and just do these things, you feel like, okay, yeah, this is Omale, this is his style. And which brings me to the next song, Water Spirit. First of all, a song that talks about sex, which could be termed as, I don't know, with the way people deliver songs in Nigeria, especially sensual or sexual, or however we want to term it. Some people might tag it as ew. If another artist had dropped this song in another version, people might think it's a bit gross. People might think it's gross, but this is Omale. The delivery did not land. If the delivery is bad, it won't land. But I think the delivery was really good and it landed well. A bit comical, but then I've said it on my previous album reviews. I think it was Loje's album, and I said people like Omale, Loje, Victoni, they are one of the few artists in the country where they can be talking about intense sexual stuff on a song, right? That get a pass from baddies or women in general in Nigeria, where if Naira Marley sings this version of song, people can tag it as disgusting. If someone like Odumodu tries it, if it's not landed properly. But when you see someone like Loje, Omale, and Victoni, there's a level of innocence that fans attach to them. There's a level of creativity that people expect from them, and for the most part, people they don't fall hand when they do it. So Water Spirit is a very good song. I like it. I don't know if it's going to some people's sex playlist, because in a nutshell, you're just calling them Atoli. For non-speaking for Yoruba non-speaking people, this atole means people that bed with, which in another form is, I mean, if some, okay, anyway, moving on to the next one. I like coping mechanism. I think first of all, Elma made Omale look like a guest on his own song, and that in itself it's a big deal when you have Omale who really feature people on his project. In general, he really feature people, and having Elma on this and Emma taking the center stage of this entire song, because this looks like Elma featuring Omale. Omale had one verse and Emma picked up the hook, did the verse, did everything. It looked like an Emma song. And I think that's also shout out to Omale for allowing her to be very free on this record and to allow her to be very creative, because this is my favorite song on the album, right? And I think it sounds like for the first time on the album, this song sounds like the first intro to when you title your album Clarity of Mind. I think this is the song that would have been an intro to say, okay, this is me taking the first step of acknowledging how I'm feeling. First of all, just agree that you are very chaotic, very toxic and everything. But this is like an intro to it. And I really like this song. This is my favorite song on the album. I'm going to the next track. That's Julia. Julia, first of all, sounds very chaotic. Seems to be all over the place. Like 5 genres. I can pick up 5 genres on that one, on one song. But then it still sounds very enjoyable. But I will understand some people who feel like maybe there are too many seasoning in the food and it makes the food taste somehow. But I will go back to this song over and over again. But I don't know. The end of the song sounds maybe unnecessary, or maybe the producer is just flexing. But all in all, it's a great song. And yeah, these are the songs I like on the album, aside from the singles that are dropped before the album, because then we have Holy Ghost that has been out for like almost 2 years, I think. So, which goes into the next phase of what I would say on this album, because all the songs I listed are songs that I like. And now, let me talk about the observations I have for the album. I don't think Clarity of Mind is when you first look at the title of the album and the rollouts it has gone on in terms of the media space and the whole talk about Afrobeats, talking about sound, talk about content, because he's been on and on about we need to make Afrobeat this and that. Afrobeat is not like hitting it hard outside anymore like before, even though people who love Omale will definitely love this album. I would like to go back to this album, and I feel like based on previous body of work that he has done, I think this is on the first listen, because the album can go on to do bajillion numbers in the next 6 months. Then people say this is the greatest album of all time. This is just down to me listening for the first time. This is the first listen review, and I think it's a bit underwhelming when you look at his last 3 projects, and you understand, you look up to him and say, if there's anything that is going to change with the Afrobeat and with the noise that has happened around Afrobeat, he has to do more. He has to give us, because like I said earlier on, all that he has done on this album, a bit of self-reflection, because self-reflection is not really on this album, even though the title is called Clarity of Mind. He's just lost what he wants to do with women, stuff like that, yearning to be loved or yearning that he wants to love, flexing that he has money, and you could just detect high level of sadness from the album also. It's not entirely dark, because it is very also, how will I say it? It's very introspective in a way, but I don't know, the entire album show he has not reached the clarity of mind, the state of clarity of mind like he announced on the album. I think a lot still needs to happen because maybe the title Clarity of Mind is how do I say it, a metaphor, or he's just speaking it into existence. But all in all, I'm not super hyped up for this album. I'll go back for a couple of tracks, like the tracks that I've mentioned that I really enjoyed. It has great melody on it. You understand this is high level musician where he's talking about in Port Harcourt is number one XYZ, because it's that guy that can actually back it up when he says stuff like this. But then there's ridiculousness of him saying listen to the album in reverse, blah blah blah, which reminds me of when MI released an album. I think it was the Chairman album that he was saying, hey, you have to listen to this and this. I mean, just arrange it the way you want us to listen to it. And then some other people come out to say you have to read the lyrics by the side to. First of all, he is not saying anything out of the blue. Of course, sometimes he's kind of like humming when he's singing. He has the melody that helps him back it up also. So he's one of the finest that we've had from 2020 till now, and nothing is going to affect him because he's a fantastic artist. But on the first listen, I'm giving this album 6/10, and hopefully after 2 months or 3 months it does numbers, it does well, it goes to shows, it promotes it and everything. But I think the mind is still not clear, and here is what I think. Talk to you guys on the next one.